Perfect, thank you.
My bad.
No worries, thank you.
All right.
And I had just taken a screenshot of it, but Terry had her printed because we had to visit with her anyway, so.
Yeah.
Turn it on too. Then it shut itself off.
We ready to start then?
Pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Consider for approval minutes and agenda.
Motion approved minutes and agenda. Second.
A motion by Jensel, seconded by Derby. We have a motion to approve the minutes and agenda. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Approved. Discussion with possible action regarding COVID-19 policies.
Good morning, how are you guys?
Morning, Julie.
I think we should leave the policy the way it is. We are on the uprise again in our county. We are at 25% the last 7 days with 117 positive cases. Statewide for vaccine is at 60% and county is at 51%. COVID clinics that we're offering our Mondays are the kids, peds, and that's Pfizer, and Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday are Moderna COVID clinics, and Wednesday is the flu, and you need to call for an appointment. That is all I have at this moment.
Okay,
We already renewed our policy for this month last week, so.
we did.
Yep.
Anybody have any questions for Julie?
No.
Okay. Hey, thanks, Julie.
All right, have a good day. Stay safe.
You too.
You too.
Consider for approval amended treasurer's semi-annual report.
She should be coming down shortly.
Okay.
We had to do a journal entry for a last year for the debt service funds, and so that had affected her semi-annual report, so she just reran it. And that was per the auditors, so.
Can we move on to set public hearing for the max levy?
You know the parameters on this when we set it?
Looks like she wants to do it on February 22nd.
No time set there.
No.
Is that on purpose?
No, it can be any time that day.
It's 2/22/22.
Oh.
Do we want to do it at 2:22?
No. Yeah, no, okay, yeah, right. We should do it at 2:22 in the afternoon also, yes.
Or 2:22 in March is technically, that's 22.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make a motion to set the public hearing for max levy for, you said, February 22nd
Yes, please.
at 9:30 a.m.
Is there a second on that?
I'll second it.
A motion by Derby, seconded by Jensel, to set the public hearing for max levy February 22nd, 2022 at 9:30. All in favor?
Aye.
Passed.
Morning, Julie.
We're ready for you.
You are. Okay. I
I just made copies here for you guys. And if approved, this one here I'll have signatures on. What we had to do,
Yeah, I told him.
oh, you already informed them.
Hey, if you want to.
Yeah, you can keep going.
While we're looking at it, what?
Okay, if you go down to 56 and 58 fund numbers.
Yeah, you are too.
Yep, the UR2 and the UR2A. That was the refunding of the GO bonds. And when that happened, when everything got refunded, evidently Jeff Pyle didn't visit with the auditor's office on what needed to be journaled. And so with the help of Tyler and some of those people and Elizabeth, with the journal entries that needed to be shown, we were able to get that on the books like Elizabeth wanted. And the only amount that is changing on that was like 16,000. It was the debt, looking at the debt service. And I left copies of like what Elizabeth had proposed with your copies as well, along with the journal entries. So my ending totals never changed. And my beginning totals never changed. It was just that 16,000 in between.
Mm-hmm. Went
And
from one fund to
journaling.
another.
That. But because of a change, then I have to amend the semi-annual and reprint it. So it's a lesson learned, I think, by all with refunding of
Yeah.
bonds and.
So this is how Elizabeth does it, she makes a note on the
She wanted that
entry
done.
and just,
Yeah,
yeah.
she made,
It looked correct.
she made this note here, and that's kind of my writing.
Oh, I see.
But her
I'm just
journal,
curious how she does it, you know.
right, this is her journal,
Oh, that, okay, yep.
and that should be in there. So I thought you would like to see that journal as well. There you go. And then the next journal is what Tyler Technology helped Chris do the journal. And then I had to reflect it on the semi-annual with Tyler's help. Because we were going back into last fiscal year. So it's very complicated too.
I wasn't about to try it all on my own. Nope.
Don't blame me.
Nope.
Yep.
Yep.
No,
Part
because
of the
once,
difference on this was we didn't utilize Jeff Heil much on this one. We kind of did it on our own locally.
okay.
Yeah, that's right. To save some
So-
money.
Yeah, and so that's where some of that got missed. But it is now corrected and going forward, I believe. But it will be a misstatement on the,
I know, we got
Finding
that
out
back,
about
I
it.
need it too.
I'll make a motion to approve the treasurer's semi-annual report as amended.
I'll second.
A motion by Derby and seconded by Jensvold. We have a motion to approve the amended treasurer's semi-annual report. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Passed. So you just need signatures on
yep,
this.
I'm sure will have you go ahead and re-sign. And then it can get posted in the paper.
You don't need a stamp on it then?
Yep, well, she's signing one and then we'll just stamp.
No, it's not. That's a stamp, so that can be signed too.
And then hopefully I'll be back with the new, the new one for the last 6 months. We're still trying to get that all figured out with the new system.
And I just don't envy you guys at all with this. But it's coming together, right?
It's coming
I
together.
think so. I
Um,
think so. I did get some help last week or the week before, and I felt a lot better
We finally
about the
got
help that I got.
some people that would listen to us
Right.
and actually knew the system and what we
Where
each
do
did.
we get boxes of cleaning?
If you want to go ask Chelsea, we've got some in our office. Yes, please.
Okay.
So that was a great help. And then we kept them on the line so that
Yeah.
Julie could have them. It's like we weren't
Yes.
gonna get
Such
rid
a
of
learning
everybody.
curve.
Okay, so do you want to sign Carla by you as deputy? And then I'll leave you a copy on your desk. Yeah, that was the hardest thing I think Chris and I found was just to find somebody that would know what each department does and how to go about doing the work they
And
needed
it's,
to
if you
do.
can talk to the same person every time you have a question, that would probably be helpful too, but I bet that doesn't
That isn't
happen.
going to happen.
So amending this one, was it under the old Tyler or the new Tyler?
The new, we're not touching the old system as far as any changes.
It got posted back into the old,
Right.
I mean,
But yeah, we didn't do it in Eden at all.
no. So going forward, it should show the correct
Yep.
beginning and ending.
And it does, which,
Yeah.
yeah, it was great.
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Consider for approval 2080 agreement with Care Connections of Northern Iowa.
They just made a couple of minor changes to satisfy some of the,
So it's got to be signed on the back page.
state.
Are the changes highlighted in there?
I doubt it, they were on the one.
You saw?
So we shouldn't have to stamp this out.
No, because it'll be notarized.
All dated and everything, so.
Just the chairman has to sign it. I'll make a motion to approve the 2080 agreement with Care Connections of Northern Iowa.
I'll second it.
Motion by Jensvold, seconded by Derby to approve the 28 agreement. Care Connections, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passed.
So you know the Republic do that?
Yeah, we all are in our
We all
office.
are, just-
Wish I would have invented paper clips.
Right.
I like it when you guys have all the different ones that have to be signed and they're all paper clipped separately and all you have to do is look for paper clips.
Right.
All right, so that's done. Scott Minders, engineer, discuss secondary roads.
75, 30. You have memorized that.
No, I don't remember.
Yeah, I think the thing is, when you look at that board.
Hey Scott, we're ready for you. Thank you.
Brain just goes, sitting over here, I can think of it every time.
No, you
Looking
know
at that screen, I can't.
You know it, it just, all of a sudden, it's just like there's,
There's numbers in front of you,
as soon as you need it, why is it not there?
because all the numbers are distracting.
Oh, yeah, that's what it
Anything I
What is
can
your-
look up, I don't commit to
is. Is yours
Memory.
75,
on
11?
purpose.
7511.
I called you when I was calling Chris over there the other day.
First is Chris, right?
Oh, that's right.
Taking out a whole bunch of crap out of my eyes today. Took down a whole bunch of block walls yesterday in the shop. Jackhammering
What shop were you working on?
at the school,
At the school?
the ag shop. They had put up a bunch of block walls when they redid it for locker rooms.
Sure.
Not original walls.
Is that gonna be another apartment eventually?
That's to be true.
Oh,
Do you want to talk about drainage?
sure.
You want me to call it drainage quick?
7511.
I don't have anything, is why I thought it'd be quick.
Okay.
Other than what's on the agenda.
Yeah, but we can't do that till later.
But we'll be here.
Thanks.
So we'll be taking a break at the end of this part of it.
Morning, Scott.
Good morning.
Ethan. Yeah, for us.
Guys are out hauling right now, trying that again, but hauling pretty good again now. State roads are starting to stick, but hopefully we'll be okay with not having as much material balance.
I took both. I went 9 to Thompson, and it was horrible. Went to back roads from Thompson to here, and it was good.
Yeah,
I remember seeing one little drift in one spot.
Looked like you
And
got,
that was right as you came into Fort City.
but I was cautious because it looked like it could have been occasional black ice.
I
Now,
thought that too.
you didn't want to go around the curves at
Pretty
the
fast.
day.
yeah, it was a little frosty this morning. Luckily it cooled down quick enough this morning before it started blowing, so got away from sticking. Yesterday it came really close, but been lucky.
Yeah. Yeah.
This afternoon brings, might have to knock back some tables or something. Other than that, it's been pretty normal, really.
Yeah, we're February here. Winter's been pretty manageable so far, and
Yeah,
haven't used a lot of material.
I've only put salt down a couple times, 50-50.
You really haven't had the big one yet.
No. We got full ditches and everything, so, you know, it could come anytime, but
This week's looking good.
yeah.
This week, next week, there's a couple close to 40s.
Really?
Maybe
Wow.
shrink some of that stuff down a little bit. All depends on the wind. Gravels are kind of full in spots. So it's gonna be touchy.
It's pretty windy today, huh?
Will you be having a contract on the gravel this year? Did you get them? Oh. Three fingers.
I don't have that yet.
It changed hands or?
Right, yeah, I mean, well, so Lewis has bought it from, I guess, it was in August, a couple of years ago, but Jan had the contract that, you know, survives the owner transferring property, but they found a kind of a glitch, I don't want to call it a glitch, but in the contract, they didn't, you know, provide proper notice or something, so they were able to cancel it. So then Lewis's thought they would find a new crusher, and so that kind of opens up all the opportunities for the county and the landowner and the crusher to come up with agreements that is fair to everybody, and just kind of need to probably call Reddings again and get them moving on their end. I think they're the weak link, but Lewis is too. I know is doing a bunch of research, calling around to other counties and seeing what they're paying, trying to figure out what the fair price is. And I told them all, you know, we're ready to crush this fall, so we got money in the budget. Let's try and get something put together. And Just haven't got everybody all the same table yet. So that's probably a call I should make and try to keep that moving. You shouldn't have to call people for them to sell you stuff.
Yeah. There's not a lot of choices out there.
Yeah, and that's the thing too for them, you know, there's not a lot of buyers for the gravel either of quantity other than county.
So what is it a ton? I mean, what,
The last contract was like $6.20 a ton for gravel in the pile. And there's miscellaneous things like they take care of the road out there and different things, but pretty straightforward. I mean, they put the gravel in a pile and we own the pile out there. It's not land we own.
So you just come and go as you please in your pile.
Yeah, yep, so we kind of pay up, we have in the past paid up front for the gravel in the pile and we'll just use it until it's gone. And, compared to the, what is it now, 802 and going up for the limestone.
Trucking.
Plus all the trucking to the county for the limestone, so even though not everybody likes gravel as much, it sure is a more
An option.
economical way to manage some of the lower traveled roads.
Well, I think some of our gravel of recent years, it's been quality gravel. It's worked well for those roads.
Yeah,
Yeah, last couple of
Some
years.
people would rather have gravel.
Yeah,
than
you know,
the sharp stone.
that's just the thing
limestone.
too, it's a preference thing, and I think even on some of the higher traveled roads, a blend of gravel does good things for the surface, ties it together a little bit.
I noticed that, Cassuth County, they've got a lot of gravel with the rounder rocks.
Yeah.
It's, it really does tear up the tires on your truck, driving on that sharp. It's,
Limestone, yeah.
my truck only gets 5,000 miles a year, and I think we get more wear and tear on the tires. The last 50% of that set of tires than there was when I was putting 5,000 miles a week on.
Yeah, off-road. The other thing, I guess, the Lynn Hagenson situation, I guess you guys talked about a little bit last week. I have I called Blake Norman in Hancock County and sent him an overview of the situation, and I was hoping he'd be able to get back to me by now, and he hasn't, so I guess I'm waiting on that. I basically asked him 3 questions. One is, can we pile snow at the ends? Can we put up a gate on level B? And then is there some sort of citation that our law enforcement can be giving out there that would be supported?
As long as it's properly signed.
Yeah, whatever that kind of combination of
I
things.
wonder if we have to change our ordinance to get to that point.
Yeah, my guess is that he's gonna say, if you're putting a gate up, that's a road closure, and it's gotta be properly signed according to construction road closures, which is the type 3 barricades, and then advanced warning signs. And, if we did that for maybe, this one, or however many were they're causing problems, that's kind of a lot of signs, and those signs are really like a kite, especially the type 3 barricades. They catch a lot of wind, they're hard to maintain, even during construction. They gotta check them on the weekends, and you got, probably a dozen sandbags on each one trying to keep it there. They're really kind of hard to keep there. And so, I don't know
so what would be the drawback to piling snow at the end of it?
I don't know that there's a drawback other than we just need to make sure that's not going to set us up for some sort of liability,
Well, there's no sign warning you that it's coming.
There are signs there that say, minimum maintenance and enter at your own risk, but it doesn't maybe quite prepare you for that.
Yeah, but most people aren't thinking that they're gonna drive into a wall of snow either.
But
Most of the people
they're
that-
already driving into walls of snow
Well,
and getting
Yeah, I
stuck.
was just gonna say, and most of those people are evidently relatively impaired when they're going up that road
I mean, we do have roads where it just happens to be that we throw a lot of snow on there and they end up being like a wall, but it's not deliberate. So, I just gotta make sure that if it's deliberately placed there.
It'll be interesting to see what he has to say.
Different, yeah.
I mean, that would be the simplest, cheapest.
The one point they were making was maybe we need to have better signs that indicate more conclusively that you will not make it through this road.
Yeah.
The minimum maintenance is not real clear.
Sure. The confusing part is that it's level B, 2 miles both directions, east and west. So if they're going straight, they have already made it through almost 2
Yeah.
miles of level B unplowed roads. It's like,
Ethan, do you still have that paper with you, or that you showed me last week?
I think it's downstairs on my desk.
Oh, that's all right. It was just interesting how many
The level B.
level Bs are there. It's
right, I mean, somebody's really
Lot.
snaking their way through there to get there. It's just kind of surprising.
It's
that
a
they're-
lot of effort.
Yeah, I mean, it's really surprising that there's so many vehicles that make it there.
And the last one was a Grand Am.
Yeah, I mean, the worst type of vehicle to have on a snowy road. And I asked him, well, I didn't ask him, but the other options I mentioned to him are the level C and the road vacating options, which are both possible. They just take public hearings and a desire to do so, I guess. But both of those would basically close the road, I guess. Level Cs always have gates, and vacated roads have whatever the landowners want, because it basically returns the land back to the landowners and they can do whatever they want.
I guess I'd lean more towards another, whether it's a waiver on the rules of level B, or it would be kind of something between B and C, where just in the winter we can gate it off.
so if it's gated, do you still need all the other signage?
The level Cs are the ones that are gated right now, and those have a sign that says, level C maintenance, no trespassing, something like that. And then the gates have light reflectors on it.
But just one sign, but
Yeah.
not all the way
There's no advanced
down the
signage,
road,
yeah,
or-
so kind of like, helps you avoid all of that extra signs of maintenance, whatever. And, most of those roads that are level C have never been good roads, so nobody would ever have been used to taking them or anything. So all the locals would know, don't, drive through there. That's where this one would be a little different, because, everybody around there is probably taking this road regularly, so if you put a gate there, it'd be an adjustment.
Probably in the transition, we'd have to have flags on it or something, like when we put a stop sign in, you get
Yeah,
extra flag.
something extra, probably. You wouldn't want anybody flying into those.
So you're gonna get that information back to us, hopefully.
We'll see what Blake has to say. Yeah, we look too at if this situation had come up with other counties, and whole dialogue between counties, and we found a couple that had asked about people mudding on level B roads. Some counties have trouble with that, and so really the only thing they said they've had good luck with is changing them to level C and gating them. There hasn't been any other thing they've been able to find that's a good deterrent.
And the hard part for this one is that it's just so long and so many of them in there, to change it to 11s.
And in the
to the
summer,
sea.
it's fun,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do the gates open so like you could keep them open in the rest of the year and then close? Are they not?
Yeah, I mean, they're just,
Gates.
they're
You
not,
put a post and chain it open.
yeah, I mean, nothing special about the gates. They're just like a bar across the road, chained together.
Yeah, it's a bar with a gusset.
So that's where we're at, I guess. I guess if I get something from him and he hasn't kind of addressed like a winter time gating situation. Can you ask me about that?
Okay. Anything else? Can we move on to 7?
Just put up a sign, unless you're driving a tank, you will not make it.
Yeah, come up with their own special
It's snowmobile.
kind of funny sign.
Yeah, there's no mobility.
Discussion with possible action regarding personnel matters in the county engineer's office.
Okay, so Ethan is approaching his 1-year mark as maintenance superintendent, surprisingly already. It feels like that year has flown by, but February 8th is the date that his position was made official last year. When he started, and of course, the board approved his salary at that time. In July of last year, when everybody else received their raises. He didn't, just because of the way that we, I don't know, approved it. That's the plan we stuck with. He's been here since May 13th to 13th as a, as an operator in various capacities. So almost approaching 9 years with the county. I think in his first year, he's had a really positive impact on the department. I think he's done really well with employee morale and working together with the guys that have been here longer than he has, trying to get good advice and making good decisions that everybody can kind of reach consensus on. We had a couple of pretty complex bridge projects, replacements with box culverts that he oversaw and went very well. And then together we kind of made work orders a priority. The last year we had really good weather, but also making it a priority. We enter about 95 work orders a year, and in 2021 we resolved 139, including 25 for ditch cleaning, some of them which were 7 years old. Currently we just have 16 open work orders. And that's as low as it's been since we started the work order system. And we have a pretty big year lined up, 5 bridge replacements and 2 large culverts scheduled for this upcoming summer. And we've been working together on that, and a more ambitious year, but I think he's up for the challenge, and I trust that he'll do a good job with it. He's done the training that I've asked him to do for drug and alcohol supervisor. There's a lot more training out there for maintenance superintendents, and a lot of that's kind of been tough with COVID, but I'm going to encourage him to go to some of those trainings here next year and get relationships built with surrounding maintenance superintendents and get some, just outside perspectives on all the things we do from those guys and the trainings that are out there. So at his 1 year mark, I guess I'm recommending that we raise his wage from $65,500 per year to $70,500, and recommending that be approved today. I haven't talked to any of you about this yet, so I'm open for discussion about it and willing to get any more information that you'd like to see.
You want to go through the email that you sent out to us that had the 5 up and 5 down?
Sure, the salary stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm looking at salaries for our department, we can compile information from all the other counties with similar positions based on information reported to the Service Bureau, which is the County Engineers Association group that their staff for it, and they take care of all this data. But the best way to compare usually is to find the counties that have populations closest to our county, and so we compare the ones that have more and less, 5 up, 5 down, and those counties: Lyon, Cherokee, Louisa, Hancock, Guthrie, Franklin, Montgomery, Keokuk, Sac, Calhoun, so they're kind of spread all over the state as well. The first thing I'll mention, I guess, is, so, Mark Johnson retired December 23rd, 2020. And if his salary followed everybody else's raises, he'd be making $78,311 today. So that kind of shows you what the kind of high end is. He was toward the upper end of maintenance superintendent in terms of salary because he'd been here for so many years. If we look at other surrounding counties, the 80th percentile mark is 78,936. The 10th percentile is 61,968. So you can see there's quite a range from our county to others.
Looks like it's about an average, what you're suggesting.
Yeah, the trend based on population, so if we relate salary to population, is about 74,000. And years of experience, which relates how many years a person's been in that position to salary, it's about 72,000. I think like all jobs, we're seeing, salaries grow a little bit in order to keep good people in these positions.
One thing that in population is kind of standard to compare against, but in this case, another thing to factor into it is square miles. Because we got one less row of townships in most counties.
Sure.
So technically, there's less to do. Not that there is, because we have other issues out there.
Yeah, we could do the same comparison for square miles in the county probably. Probably look up that information. Lyon, I don't know how big that one is. They're a bigger county.
They're at the top of the state, so they're probably one of the shortest.
Yeah, unless it changes as you get closer to the border. Yeah, Hancock's obviously got an extra little row of townships. I think Franklin does. Yeah, I'd have to look at a map to see. I don't just remember.
Yeah, I can't remember. I've looked at a map and looked at that before myself.
Yeah.
So what were the numbers you were proposing again?
65.5 to 75.
So a $5,000 increase, which is what, 7 points?
And then would he also get the new raise in July and then keep him on that schedule?
Yep, that'd be the proposal.
That raises what?
Well, the elected officials was approved at 9. So that's what I would propose.
There's two different, that splits. I mean, it's at 9, but originally it was at 10. Part of that is that the elected officials in our county are behind the rest, so 4% of that was, so actually the cost of living raise was 6%. The rest of it was to equalize between like-sized counties,
Mm-hmm.
as far as the elected officials go. So really the 6% is the cost of living. Yeah, I think you
Everybody
guys-
goes by the elected officials.
And I think you guys are, if I remember right, fairly close as far as surrounding counties, like-sized counties, which you guys could be.
Vary by position a little bit.
Yeah, there's always. If I remember right, you guys are right in the thick of things when it comes to being compensated fairly or whatever compared to other like-sized counties. How was it we came up to 65? 5.
And in the same manner, we looked at these same numbers for last fiscal year salaries. And we came up with a hiring range from 59,000 to 72,000, which started at basically 95% of marks.
Yeah.
And then the bottom end was basically the lowest anybody's being paid as a superintendent in the county and in the state. And then 65.5 is the middle. And when, you know, we decided to hire Ethan, that's the number
We
we offered.
started it at less, and then I can't remember, did we designate that we were gonna raise it after a year after?
We didn't say that. It's the way that we handled Eric's position. It's similar to the way that we handled my position. So no, it hasn't been anything that was promised or anything. But I think that one year mark's a good mark to say, you know, you've seen everything that the year can throw at you, and it's a good time to say, you know, we've seen you handle every situation or close to it, and gives us a feel for how the employee's going to do.
Morale is up and work orders are down.
Well,
I mean, that bodes well for what's been done. So,
I believe most employees do get a 1 year. Like
Yeah,
a review
they're-
and a raise.
yeah, there's usually, it's even like 6 months for some positions.
Yeah, so it's not uncommon.
No, I don't know.
So if this was approved, July 1st, the salary would be 76,845.
That's what I was hoping you were figuring over there, Terry.
tell me that number again.
Well, if we go to 70,500
Mhm.
and you add 9%, we'll be at 76,845 on the 1st of July.
Yeah, one number we don't know is what other counties are going to give their superintendents this year either. There was a survey that's been around the counties asking what people are budgeting for their maintenance in their engineer's office, and surprisingly, it's kind of just like we were, around the 10% before anything was approved or whatever, but that's kind of what people were including in their budgets for, you know, the unknown, somewhere like 6 to 12%, I'd say.
Well, I agree with the recommendation because of the accomplishments and, you know, what he's been able to do in the last year since he started. Challenge I have is the overall, like in February 1st until July 1st, there's a very large increase in overall.
Sure.
I don't know how to deal with that though. Probably the way to have dealt with it is if we had, it's kind of a catch-22 when we had a year, kind of almost like a probationary period to prove itself.
So that turns into it, if I did the math right, $11,345.
It's 17 point something percent.
Yeah,
5,000 is a 7.6% increase. And increase in job, which secondary roads, it's, their wages are competitive. So.
Would you say that was 17% then?
Well, when I took 65.5.
Yeah.
And I divided into it, the 11,345, I got 11. That was the one. So then you figure a year and a half is what it would be over. Then it ends up being an 11.5% increase per year. Kind of just a different way of looking at it altogether. That one shot, it's about 5 months, it's 17. You can look at it a lot of different ways.
Yeah, you can.
Merit-wise, it sounds like we deserve Wisconsin, so it's, I don't have any problem with that. 5,000 for sure. That's the way I think all raises should be. We should just automatically get a raise. It should be a raise because we're doing a good job. It's not the way it always works.
What are your thoughts, Terry?
Well, I kind of agree. The merit is definitely there. I guess his office to decide what he's going to do with his employees when it comes to the first of the year, fiscal year salary. But I guess comparatively, we can see the numbers, and the median cost of living is what would make sense at that point.
You're saying the 6% of the fiscal year for them.
Yeah, 6 or 7. I think was the last number I saw. December was 7%. I think November to November was 6%.
So, yeah,
December to
it's changed
December
a
was
little.
7%. So it all depends on which month you're looking at.
Or how you want to really look at it. So you don't factor in medical expenses, fuels, and what's the third one? There's 3 things that we really need that aren't in the
In
inflation.
the inflation.
Inflationary. Food.
So I guess at this point, I'll make a motion to approve the increase to 70,500.
I'll second it.
So a motion has been made and seconded regarding personnel matters in the engineer's office to increase Ethan's wage. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion passed.
I guess I'll fill in the dates, but if I could get your signature.
You're doing a good job.
Thank you. It'll be another good year, it'll be a big one.
Actually, you've got all the advantages of weather on ditch cleaning and all that kind of
I
stuff.
mean, weather factored into those work orders also, but,
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
it still is, some of those things have been, like you said, been out there for 7 years.
Makes for better PR with the public.
Yeah, so some of those guys he called up, after that many years, and kind of awkward, saying, hey, we just haven't been able to get to you for that long, but I think they were pretty happy to hear from us.
Just gotta make sure when we go out there and do those things, we can put it over somebody's shirt.
Right.
Yeah,
I think it would be nice if you took any additional training that Scott suggests or the county offers as well.
yeah.
Yeah,
There's not quite as good of a network of maintenance superintendents as like the Engineers Association, so it's a little bit of a trick to figure out which trainings are going to be most effective. You just don't want to sit through 3 days of engineers training when you're a maintenance superintendent. It's just not the same stuff. So I think we'll find it.
Does that need a stamp?
I think just the signature.
I think this signature looks,
Office date.
You wanna sign for
And
Carla?
open about everything in communication, that's usually all it takes, 'cause lots of times if you communicate with a person, even when it's something they really don't wanna hear, at least if they heard about it ahead of time, they're not gonna be near as excited about stuff.
because you know what happens, then they call us,
Yep.
like, immediately.
Yeah, that's what I tell them too. I don't want any surprises. So whatever you gotta do to keep those phone calls, I mean, it's the same thing. They'll call me or they'll call you or maybe both. That's good.
We'll just have Ethan on speed dial.
Yep.
And there's, been a lot of things too where I've asked them to reach out to you guys too. I hope that's.
Appreciate that, actually.
I think it's been going good.
I think so too.
I just referred somebody to the engineer's office to call them. I couldn't figure out. Lives in North County. No, they were asking me questions since I'm a supervisor.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you need to start with your engineer's office.
You know, I don't know if it's part of roads or not, but I've had some complaints about, houses, debris around houses and that kind of stuff out in the country. Is there what do we do about any
Like
of
trash
that?
or,
Yeah, just lots of stuff.
I think at one point in history, Becky, who was my office manager, but was the zoning administrator at the time, had tried to pursue nuisance complaints for that kind of thing. I think that we have something set up in order to do that.
Would that be through Matt today?
I'm not sure.
If there's any checking you could do on that, I've had some neighbors that have been complaining about a place in the country.
Construction zone or something?
Pardon?
Were they complaining about the construction zone?
Lots of trash around their house, you mean, to
Yeah.
just go crap out.
Just, yeah, stuff. Lots and lots of stuff.
I'm guessing it's not cut and dry like you all hope,
Mm-hmm.
but I'll look into it.
I know the cities deal with it too, and you have to go through a certain process to make it stick.
Well, I thought it was probably even more complicated when it's in the country and it's, it is on a blacktop road, but, I don't know.
It's their own property.
It's their own property.
It's not like they're.
You can probably send a friendly letter, from the board of supervisors or whoever, and start that way. And if it's really a problem, then you have to go through our ordinances.
Yeah,
Yeah, we've sent some letters for like trees overhanging the road and different things, and friendly letters sometimes works,
mm-hmm.
but not very often. You gotta have a landowner who cares about the property and likes to be a good citizen, and most people are that way.
Mm-hmm. I think it's just the neighbors that have to drive by it every day, it's hard to look at. Okay, well, if you could do any checking on that, I'd
Yep.
appreciate it, thank you.
Can do that.
Anything else, guys?
I got a couple items on the agenda, but otherwise, I don't have anything.
Okay. Thanks for your good work, Ethan.
Thank you.
So number 8, consider for approval plans and specifications, notice to bidders, and letting date for project number L-2022 precast-78-95.
Just give you both of these. And in short, if a project is considered construction as defined by law, and costs more than the public bidding threshold, which is, about 100,000, then we're required to publicly let the project as a whole, or enough of the project to get it down below that threshold. So in this case, we let the materials, and our crews will install them. So it's a 2022 precast project, includes 2. It's a box culvert project, G16N1, and a maintenance project, call it B27W, but it's the culvert replacement on R50 DD 1 lat 2 main ditch that's a little too high that we have to lower, and it's
Just
also
south of the G.
right. Yep, and that's that one. And then the G14W is the one by Derby Banks, I would call it. The aluminum arch pipe materials. And again, county crew to install. But if we bid the materials, that gets us below the threshold, and so the day labor portion, which is the non-let portion, won't exceed that bid threshold. You follow me on that? It's,
These need to be stamped.
well, they need to be just motioned and approved by the board, and then I guess it takes Carla's signature. It's a boilerplate template.
Yeah, there's just, it's
just
got
Carl.
a spot for Carl on here, but
But I'm wondering if it shouldn't be.
You can sure stamp it.
I
I
think
mean,
it'd be good to have them stamped if our signatures aren't on it.
yeah,
I would think.
the Service Bureau has a local letting tool, and it outputs automatically these forms. So I didn't create these, but yeah, a stamp surely wouldn't hurt, because we will put this in the minutes and have it published.
Yeah. So is there a motion to approve these plans and specifications?
If you want to do the first one.
I will. I'll make a motion to approve the plans and specification, project number L-2022 precast 7895. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Motion by Smith and seconded by Derby. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Passed. And the motion for the,
I'll make the motion to approve the plans and specifications, notice of bidders, and letting date for project LCO95 G14W1 7395.
we don't want to leave you out. We don't want to leave
Well,
you
it's all
out.
closer to you guys.
It's closer.
I'll second it if you want to.
Jensvold. A motion by Derby and seconded by Jensvold to approve plans and specifications, letting date, project number LCO95. All in favor? Say aye. All opposed? Motion
Just to
passed.
clarify, there is no conflict of interest, though. Even though he referenced it as the Derby bin site, we no longer own that bin site, so we have no conflict.
No, but it will forever be called the Derby.
Yeah, I
But I
guess.
know somebody that farms on one side of the road.
Yes. Very interested in that culvert.
Yeah, we heard from some old county engineers at a conference here. They're in their 70s, and have moved on from county engineering, but they talked about how it used to be when they were young county engineers, and they said it always seemed like the bridge nearest or the road nearest the supervisors always seemed to get paved or the bridge replaced, whatever. So, it's good that it's worked its way out of the system, I think, that
That's
kind of
why
thing
we
happens.
need to get the Mill Road north for at least 3 miles paved.
Oh. I said I don't want my road paved by my new house. It would just create lots more traffic, so
Probably.
leave it gravel. I like it that way.
Every kid going to school.
We could even blade it less and get real good washboards in there if you want.
Actually, that
Too
road-
far,
that
too
road
far, Scott.
Should be paved at least to the city burn site.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a lot of traffic.
yeah,
Hmm.
I believe that.
So, and that's one reason it gets washboards so bad.
It's a busy road for that place.
All right. Anything else, guys?
And
No.
most people think it's a good idea to pave it, so I tell them how expensive the pavement is.
Yeah, that's the only problem.
Yeah. But as far as me driving, I don't think it's, as long as we got underhanded things going on.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, guys.
I was bouncing across it yesterday.
You sign that too?
That was one of my original Denny Agee, who lives just north end of that, little big at 470th up there, the intersection. He told me that he'd vote for me if I got that paved to his place.
Whoa.
So that,
In his lifetime?
yeah, well, you know what?
Is this the time you ran unopposed, though?
Huh?
Did you need to vote for that time?
No, I was, there's somebody running against me then, so.
Yeah,
That was one of them tongue-in-cheek campaign promises.
sure, yeah.
But how many people were running against you? Just one?
This one,
Just one?
ran against me in the primary and the, well, no, the first time, there was three of us.
That's right.
Yeah, because Willie was still on the ballot,
Yeah.
which I would have never run if he was gonna run. He changed his mind, he wasn't gonna run.
And apparently something else changed his mind.
Yeah.
He died.
All right,
Thanks, guys.
thank you. We've already done number 10. And are we
And
doing
have a
the,
good day.
Thanks.
thank you.
We have to wait on Lindsay's out this morning and she'll finish,
Table
Terry just
itself.
brought his this morning, so we need to finish that up.
Open forum?
Get the stuff out of your eyes, man. Woke up this morning. I don't know how you can sleep. I had corn chaff in my eyes this morning. I would have thought that that would have been easy to get out before you went in the shower.
And then I'm assuming you all got the copy from Jim Ullman, or did you?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can talk about that next time budget talks come up.
I think we touched on it last week, didn't we?
Yeah, we talked about it.
Oh.
We hadn't
It
gotten,
was just
we
in
hadn't
here,
gotten
so-
anything official, but we assumed that this
We
is.
put it in the budget, but we hadn't got anything official yet.
Gotcha. I just saw it was in the folder, so I didn't know if it had been talked about.
It's not actionable right now. so-
No, no.
I think I scanned your paper clip. That one. I like the great big one, but it's
I do too.
colorful.
I don't usually let people buy the colored ones because they're more expensive.
Oh, thank you for that.
And there's those funny
County
curly
things
ones that
Yeah,
are stronger.
we don't need those either.
Which ones are stronger?
Oh, they're kind of a, I don't know, they're a stronger,
Are they
wider.
triangular
Yeah.
shaped? No, I like those
Paper
too.
clips?
Yeah.
Yeah, but those are kind of nice too, because they hold a little better.
They're not as flexible to get things slipped in there.
They're on, yeah, good big. And then they got this foldable
Clamps.
clamp. It's good for great big mounts that they have.
I'm usually working with stacks of paper like that.
That's there's no board. It's got big stacks. Well,
It's just the next item.
Good. This is that penning one that got done. right?
Did you have any questions on the claims?
So this expense approval register, is this something we all three sign?
No, just Susan. However you used to do them before. I guess, I don't remember. Did y'all three used to
It never
say?
came this way before,
Right,
so I'm not sure. It's
But
not
when I
part-
used
but
to-
it's not part of claims, right?
yeah, that is,
Oh,
then that's the one you did, okay.
I handle the claims all three of us.
But it doesn't say claims, it says register.
It's never gonna say claims again.
Oh, really?
This is how it is.
So it's no longer semi-monthly county claims, it's now semi-monthly county.
Expense approval for registry.
register.
I have questions on that. Are we on to semi-monthly county claims, are we?
We are. Must have taken notes, Phil.
I did, if I could find it.
This is probably in the next sheet here. Oh, I forgot to sign that. One of these.
Um,
You can look at it here. if you want.
There you go. There's the bigger one. All right, for the general miscellaneous. Gardner and Company, who's that again?
That's
It's
our
ours.
auditors.
That's the auditors? I thought they were, it's audit service, Ayers Cooney.
No, that's
No,
our
that's-
HR.
HR.
That's HR, but it says they had an audit in front of AUD
For the auditor's office.
for the auditor's office. All right. And I'm like, well, they don't have two companies.
Nope.
Okay, all right, well, that explains that. And I thought that they were Gardner's company, but then I saw they, too many legal firms.
And I put the department so I can look it up easier if I'm looking up WCTA and somebody needs to know what they paid. I can see what it says, auditor, treasurer, recorder, kind of thing. How I've been doing.
Data processing, there was a charge. Of course, the paper punch hole would be right through the name of it is.
Who's it paid to?
Page 205,
No, who's it paid to?
it's punched right through it. Well, the last part of it is GETEK Incorporated.
Image Tech.
Image Tech, okay, and what's that for, the data processing?
I don't recall whose
It
account,
says services, it's under data processing department.
Right. what account number is charged under it. I think it's,
42101, is that all you need?
nope, I need the first ones.
0001,
Then the next one.
52,
Okay, that is something that Brody does.
is it something you bought or?
No, it's services.
Services,
yeah.
Some type of data processing.
Some type of service that we pay for.
What's the dollar?
We
amount?
paid Image Tech for years. I just couldn't remember if it was him or the recorder. So you can ask Brody.
I know the recorder uses it to be for scanning.
Right, I just don't,
Yeah.
I just don't know what he does.
I was thinking it was under, maybe he's got part of the recording, that's what I thought, Image Technical.
Well, and then she's been doing some of her own, so maybe we're paying a fee for the software for the Image Tech instead of hiring.
That could be, that could
That's what
very
it
well
is,
be.
yeah.
That's what we're
Yep.
doing.
Yep,
She's hoping to hire part of it done going forward.
that could be.
county claims yet?
Not yet.
Does that wanna be you?
Sure,
You had all the questions up here. I'd let you
yeah,
then.
I'll let me get all that out of my system.
I'll second the motion.
Motion by Jensvold, seconded by Derby to approve the semi-monthly county claims. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. Consider for approval payroll claims. How long do you think it will take for everybody to be really comfortable with that, Tyler, system, or do you think it's close,
What aspect?
all of it?
Like payroll is a little bit because, you know, everybody's entering their own and then getting it approved and getting it to Chelsea in a good time frame. That gets a little tricky, but she's I mean, she's got it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we don't worry about that part of it, it's just getting it all to her. Cause she has to do so many steps before Becky can even look at her guys. So that just puts everybody kind of behind, and then it's like a last minute
Yeah.
rush it together, but that part's getting better. The claims are simple. I love the process. It's simple. I can scan everything right in, so all the claims are right there. That's a beautiful little deal. Drainage is getting better as far as it balances. I don't have any issues with that. The reporting, just get reports out. They're not the same, and that's okay. I don't mind that. I just need to realize which reports are going to be best for what we want the information to be.
Sure.
And so it's just learning that. Reports I used to do for month end, I don't have to do anymore. And nobody told me that until 2 weeks ago. So I never balanced October, November, December, waiting for callbacks. Well, come to find out, I didn't have to because the numbers are continually changing every day as far as automatic deposits and whatever, that they're never going to exactly balance. Okay, if somebody could have told me that, I wouldn't have been freaking out the last 3 months. So
Was it Elizabeth and her crew that were
No,
able to
it's
help
the
you with
Tyler
that, or that was
system.
just the Tyler
the
system?
Tyler system? So when I got the call from Miguel, they sent me to where I have a month end balancing kind of thing. So that'll be nice to do it this month for January's month end and get it. Evidently, if Julie balances her bank transaction reports, everything is in balance. It can't be off. Okay? So those kind of things, just learning, but every day it gets better. And I think Julie and I, because we are working so well together, making sure that we balance even our old way,
Yeah.
just to make sure it's going well.
So this $16,000 glitch or whatever kind of.
And that wasn't even a glitch, it was just something that got missed
Okay.
when you did the refunding. No one at that
Wasn't
time
anything
said
that
to
was-
do that journal entry, and it didn't get done. So Elizabeth in the audit noticed it and wanted it done. So it wasn't a glitch in the system, just needed to go from one account to another.
I'll make a motion to approve the payroll claims.
I'll second that. Motion by Derby, seconded by Smith to consider for approval to approve the payroll claims. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passed.
Now we go on break till,
Because we did open forum.
Right.
Right? Okay, yep.
It's
All right.
11.
well, we go, for this meeting, we go on break
So Lindsay gets that
Yeah,
report finished.
so between meetings, we'll probably address some of those things, that last item we have.
It's 11 for Susan's.
No, Susan's, Sandy's is at 11,
11.
Oh, Sam's.
and the assessor's at 1.
1 o'clock. So I don't know what this is actually called, but it's a break, and we'll be shutting off the recordings, and we'll be back.
We're in pause mode.
Pause. There you go.
What was Sandy's idea?
Right here.